Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad. I am from school at campus. Today I am going to talk with ChatGPT topic about matter. Hey Chat, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. If you need anything or have any questions, just let me know and we'll figure it out together.
Okay. My first question is, what does the phrase "What's the matter" mean?
Good question. So, what's the matter is kind of a classic way of asking, like, what's wrong or is something bothering you? It's just a way to show care or concern, and it's pretty universal.
What did the question "What's the matter" originate?
Exactly. And people usually use it when they notice someone seems off or not quite themselves. It's a gentle way to open up a conversation, so it kind of invites them to share if they want to.
Why do people ask "What's the matter"?
Yeah, exactly. So, if you ever notice a friend is a bit down or acting differently, you can ask, what's the matter? And it just lets them know you care and you're listening.
How has the meaning of this fear changed over time?
Yeah, it really has. Originally, aspire came from this idea of breathing towards something, like reaching upward or aiming for a goal. And over time, it just evolved to mean having a strong ambition or hope for something. So now it's all about pursuing a dream or a higher purpose.
What emotions does "What's the matter" usually express?
Yeah, that's a good point. Usually it's tied to concern or curiosity, like a gentle worry. It can also carry a bit of comfort, like you're ready to listen if someone is feeling sad, frustrated, or just not themselves.
Why is the fear considered a very caring question?
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those phrases that really shows you're paying attention to how someone feels. It's simple, but it's definitely a caring question for sure.
How does asking "What's the matter" show?
So it shows empathy because it focuses on the other person's feelings. By asking it, you're signaling that you notice something is off and that you care enough to give them a chance to open up. It kind of creates a safe space for them to share.
When is it appropriate to ask
Exactly.
someone "What's the
Yeah.
matter"?
Yeah, for sure. So if you're ever worried about someone, just asking what's the matter can be a really gentle way to check in, and it gives them the space to let you know if something's going on.
How does tone of voice affect the meaning of "What's the
Absolutely.
matter"?
And even if they don't say anything right away, just the fact that you asked can mean a lot. It shows you're a safe person to lean on.
How does tone of voice affect the meaning of "What's the matter"?
Yeah, that's a great point. The tone of voice is huge. It can make the question feel really soft and reassuring, or it could come across as more casual or even worried. So the way you say it really changes how it lands.
Can the fear express concern and curiosity at the same time?
Exactly. So a calm, gentle tone really signals that you're not just asking out of routine, you're actually present and you care about their feelings. So it helps them open up if they need to.
What is the difference between "What's the matter" and "What's wrong"?
Good question. So, what's wrong is a bit more direct. It's kind of like asking, having a specific problem. What's the matter is a little softer. It's more open ended. So, it could invite them to share something broader, emotional or situational.
How do children learn to use this expression?
Of course. If you ever want to dive deeper into how people respond or how to handle certain situations, I'm here. Just let me know what you're curious about.
How do children learn to use this expression?
That's really interesting. So, children usually pick up expressions like what's the matter from their caregivers or older family members. They often hear it in daily conversations, and over time, they just start imitating it. So, it's kind of like a natural part of learning language through modeling.
Why do parents often ask children "What's the matter"?
Exactly. And at first, they might just be copying tone or pattern, but as they get older, they start to understand the meaning and the context where it fits. So, it becomes part of their routine language.
How is this fear using among friends?
Yeah, no worries. If anything else comes, yeah, definitely. If you ever want to explore more examples, kids pick up other phrases you're curious about, I'm ready to help with those too. Just let me know.
How do different cultures express concern for others?
Yeah, that's a great topic. Different cultures have all sorts of ways, like sometimes through body language, different phrases, or even specific gestures. For instance, some cultures might lean on indirect language while others are more direct. It's really fascinating.
Why is listening important after asking what's the
Yeah,
matter?
right. And after all, those different ways of expressing concern really shape how people connect and build trust, depending on their cultural background.
How can this question help someone how is upset?
Yeah, exactly. By asking in a caring way, it opens the door for someone to feel heard and understood. So it can be a first step toward comfort or even just making them feel less alone in that moment.
What role does body language
You're
play?
welcome. I'm really glad it helped. If you have any more questions or just want to discuss something else, I'm here.
What role does body language play when asking this question?
That's a great point. Body language is huge. When you ask what's the matter and you also keep eye contact, lean in slightly, or keep a relaxed posture, it really reinforces that you care and that you're present. So it all kind of works together.
Can asking what's the matter strengthen relationships?
Yeah, absolutely. Asking that question can really deepen a relationship because it shows you're willing to slow down, listen, and be there when things get tough. So it can really build trust and closeness.
Are there similar expressions in other languages?
Yeah, definitely. For example, in Spanish, you'd hear que te pasa. In French, it's qu'est-ce qui se passe. And in many languages, there are these gentle, open phrases that invite someone to share what's going on. So it's really a universal kind of idea.
How is what's the matter used in schools?
Exactly. So even though the words might differ, that same underlying care and concern comes across no matter the language. It's really cool how that works.
How is the sphere used in the workplace?
Exactly. And it also means that when we ask these kinds of questions, we're tapping into a really human need to connect, no matter where we are or what language we speak.
Why is this expression common in everyday conversations?
Yeah, I think it's because it taps into something really universal. Everyone at some point needs a space to be heard or understood. So these kinds of simple, caring questions just fit naturally into everyday conversations.
How has technology changed the way people ask what's the matter?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's so universal, it's a really easy way for people to check in on each other, whether it's a close friend, a family member, or even just a coworker. It's kind of a built in way to keep the conversation warm and caring.
Can text messages effectively convey concern?
Exactly. When kids hear it regularly and see it modeled,
What
they
what
learn
are
asking
some polite alternatives to the matter?
Larry.
How does trust influence someone's willingness to respond?
Yeah, definitely. When you show that you're truly listening and you care, it builds trust. Over time, that kind of trust can really strengthen relationships and it makes people feel valued and safe around you.
Okay. What are some polite alternatives to what's the matter?
Ah, sure. So polite alternatives could be things like, if you don't mind me asking, is everything all right? Or I hope you're doing okay. Is there something you'd like to talk about? It keeps the care, but softens it a bit.
Why is it important to ask with kindness rather than judgment?
Yeah, absolutely. When you ask with kindness, it makes the other person feel safe and not judged. It just opens them up to share, whereas a harsh or rushed question might make them shut down.
How can this question help resolve misunderstandings?
Yeah, that's a great point. By asking gently, you give the other person a chance to clarify what's really going on. And often, once they feel heard, any confusion or tension just starts to dissolve and you can understand each other better.
Why do healthcare personalizations often ask similar questions?
Yeah, that's a really good observation. In healthcare, those repeated caring questions help build trust, create a routine, and ensure nothing gets missed. So even if they ask something you've answered before, it's really about checking in thoroughly and making sure they understand.
Can asking what's the matter reduce stress and anxiety?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just about the single answer, but more about showing consistency and making sure the person feels heard at every step. That repeated care is really key to a good patient provider relationship.
Why do people sometimes hesitate to answering the question?
Yeah, that's really common. Sometimes people hesitate because they're not sure how to put their feelings into words, or maybe they're afraid of being judged, or even just because they need a little time to figure out what's really going on inside.
Why is showing concern an important social skill?
Yeah, exactly. And by giving them that space and not rushing them, you show that you genuinely care. And that can make it easier for them to open up when they're ready.
How does this fears encourage open communication?
Yeah, absolutely. When someone feels that you're patient and non judgmental, they're way more likely to open up. So, those gentle, caring questions really create a safe environment for them to share.
What mistakes should people avoid when asking someone what's wrong?
Yeah, good question. So, one big mistake is being too rushed or impatient, like if you ask and then immediately interrupt them. Also, avoid sounding like you're interrogating them. Keep it open, gentle, and without any judgment.
How can active listening make this question more meaningful?
Yeah, definitely. So, active listening, like nodding, keeping eye contact, and giving them time makes a huge difference. It shows you're really present, which can make them feel safe and supportive when they respond.
Why is compassion important in daily conversations?
Yeah, that's a big one. Compassion in daily life builds trust and connection. It shows people that you care, which makes them feel valued and more understood. And that just helps relationships thrive.
Why has the fears what the matter remain, remained popular over the years?
Yeah, exactly. So over time, those small acts of compassion really build up, and people start to feel more connected, more trusting, and just more willing to engage with you. So it really shapes a positive atmosphere.
What makes this expression a universal way to showing concern?
Yeah, I think it really does have a universal quality. Almost every culture has some version of a caring, open ended question like that. And because it's so human, it really transcends language and culture.
Why do you think people will continue using what's the matter to express care and support in the future?
I think it's because it's simple, direct, and really human. It doesn't rely on complicated words. It's just a universal signal that you care, and so it naturally stays in everyday use.
Thank you so much for watching.